Before we get to there, it's officially official, and I say that because we know that this was coming. Johnny Cardoso officially making that move to Atletico de Madrid. I mean, Betis was trying to find a way to keep him, to keep Anthony as well. But for Cardoso making this move, we know that he was one of the priorities from Diego Simeone to bring him in on this next season. How big of a move is this for Cardoso?
It's career changing. Say what you will about Cholo Simeone, about Atletico Madrid. This is a Class A team. This really is. This is. There are a few clubs like Atletico around the world, and I was very surprised at his ascension and how well he did in Real Betis. And I was even more surprised when Tottenham Hotspur put a 25 million, trigger clause in his contract, and no way that's going to be triggered. And then here comes Atletico to blow that out of the water and say, no, we're going to come in for a player that, quite frankly, I followed very closely because of the U.S. men's national team. And if we're going just off the U.S. men's national team, I could say, I don't see it. I don't see it. But that's because he's a completely different player at the club level.
Right.
He's a completely different player at the club level who's in command of his space, who's in command of his abilities, of the players around him, who for his age has shown great poise. He's a great ball winner. He does very well springing into the attack. He scored important goals in derbies like Sevilla versus Betis. He's scored important goals against teams like Real Madrid. And for whatever reason, he's not been able to put it together at the U.S. men's national team level, at the CONCACAF level.
Right.
At the CONCACAF level. And it's not gone his way. So I can sit here and say, I'm very surprised this is happening, but I have to separate the two. Because when I look at the player at the club level, I can easily see why Cholo Simeone wants him in the center midfield. I can easily see what he sees in him.
This is someone who's already adapted to La Liga.
And
that's another plus for him.
Absolutely. And I think there are lots of pluses for Cardoso here. One, Simeone comes calling. We all know what Simeone means to Atletico Madrid. He doesn't get a lot of those transfers wrong. You will also have to say about Diego Simeone. Now, I can sit here and criticize Simeone's style and how pragmatic things are at times, but Simeone knows what he's doing as manager of Atletico Madrid. And again, doesn't get an awful lot wrong. Cardoso comes in from Betis, you're absolutely right, a league that he knows well, a player who can sit just in front of that back four, has a very good passing range. And I think that's what Simeone is seeing, how he can complement, and let's be honest, it's a very stacked midfield at Atletico Madrid as well. A stacked midfield who also know Diego Simeone, know the ask of him. So nothing is a foregone conclusion here for Johnny Cardoso, outside of the fact that Simeone wanted you and Atletico Madrid were happy to back him in that regard. But he's a talented footballer, and again offers that passing range from deep that Simeone wants, quite clearly is looking for. And this is a really good move for the player himself, because to your point, and again, while I can sit here and talk about how pragmatic Atletico Madrid always seems to be, we are talking about a team who are going to finish top 3 in one of the top 5 European leagues, 99 times out of 100. You're going to be playing Champions League football. I just think, from a professional perspective, Cardoso couldn't ask for much more.
I mean, let's talk about the couple of last coaches that he's going to have before assuming he's going to make that U.S. men's national team roster for the World Cup. Manuel Pellegrini, and now you have Diego Pablo Simeone, who has that fire, right?
Yeah.
But those
absolutely.
It shows you the type of range that the player has, where you've got a player where you got a coach, like Pellegrini, El Arquitecto, who can tactically ask things of you. There's nuances to that game, and you're going to go to a pragmatic coach like Cholo Simeone, who just wants you to be a ball winner, wants you to be simple, wants you to spring the attack with that vision, but it shows you the range that he has as a player.
Different schools of thought, but both schools are Ivy League level that we're seeing here for Cardoso. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, to break down everything that we just talked about, assuming that all of these moves are official and that we're going to see them on the teams that we just talked about, which move do you like the best here, Shaq?
Cardoso. I think, again, going to a club like Atletico Madrid, given their standing in Spanish and European football, the opportunities that come with that, playing under Simeone, playing in the Champions League, I just think as a move, out of all the moves that we've just discussed, they don't come much bigger, much better than Cardoso to Atletico Madrid.
Well, I would argue out of all the moves for the U.S. men's national team thus far, because you have Malik Tillman to Leverkusen as well.
Right.
It's a big move. You got Timothy Weah and Matt Turner that's cooking up to Lyon.
Right.
But out of all the moves, I think it's still Johnny Cardoso.
Yeah.
Malik Tillman, we've spoken about it. It's an uncharted territory. Who knows what Eric Ten Hag's system for Leverkusen is going to be like? Who knows what life after Florian Wirtz and Xabi Alonso is going to be like? And I don't know if you guys just saw, but they just played a U20 team, Flamengo's U20 team in Brazil, and Amanita on them. They got 5 put past them by some 19-year-old Brazilian players. So I would say Johnny Cardoso takes this one by far.